Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Captain Katarn here. This video is not something I'd normally make, but the events of the last 24 hours were interesting to say the least. Drama sells, so let's get into it. It's gonna be a wild ride, and it's my turn to speak my mind. In the end, I'm gonna give you a final verdict on Star Wars Galaxy's Restoration 3 server, and you can judge it if it's worth your time. Let's start with a little backstory for those of you that might be drawn into this that may not know me or the channel. I have a great relationship with the development team at SWG Legends, and I've done many streams for them. If you take a look, like I have 75 plus videos on my channel for SWG. Never had a bad interaction with their dev team or their server. It was a good time. I don't get into that drama that might exist over there because I don't give a damn about their Discord channel. I'm just there to play the game. I don't care about the people like that don't matter. So the reputation that was built from my streams and guides through the roughly, like I said, 75 or so videos I've made was why I received this email from the SWG Restoration 3 developers. The email was sent to my channel business address, and I'll pull it up here. I don't care if you see this, and honestly, I don't care if you see theirs either, with the way all this stuff has gone down. So for immediate release, however the server goes live, this is a press release, okay? They send this as a press kit to the press. They consider myself as a streamer, and other people, you know, press. I'm certainly not the only one that got this email. 6 p.m. Central Time, the restoration team is ecstatic to announce that the permanent live server for Star Wars Galaxies will go online. Yada, yada, yada. Features that are interesting. Okay, and then there's this at the bottom, which I think is a very interesting and important call out. And they say, as a small team, however, Restoration 3 is not launching bug-free. Will depend on our active and growing community to report issues and provide balancing insight. Okay, that makes sense. And you can see down here, I have a press kit. And the reason that they included a press kit is so that I could make content using their server and promoting it. That's how this works. They're hoping that I take that and I say, okay, I've got their logos and all this. Now I can make some videos and it'll be positive for them. That's how it works in this industry. So that's how it works. And if you aren't initiated to this, I mean, I get these kind of emails all the time from indie developers that are looking for, you know, even if they can get 150 views on a like a small passion project game that they worked on, it might change their life. So I'll get emails like that. I'll get key requests from bigger studio or key gifts from bigger studios that hope that I'll take that and then, you know, be obligated to make a video for them, etc. But if you're not initiated to the brand deal world, this email does not expressly state that they want me to stream it. And that's important because that relationship, if they ask me to stream it directly, then I have to ask for compensation, right? Because that's how it works. If I'm not doing this because I want to, I'm doing this because you're saying, hey, we want you to stream that, then that opens up that deal. But what they're doing here is tactful, and it's implied. It's implied that they want me to stream it. They're hoping that, you know, given my interest, that'll align, and they'll get that for free. And that's totally okay. That's fine. But I want to make that distinction because that's exactly, you know, what happened here. So as my subscribers know, I've been retired from YouTube for a while. You know, I have been not really posting any videos for the last 2 years. I post things when I feel like I have something to contribute. And the Star Citizen video that I just made was just made like a year ago when I wanted to make it. I think it's among the best I've ever recorded. And honestly, I had a great time making that. That was fun. Now, if you follow me, you know that I love Star Wars Galaxies, but I really feel it's a dead-end game. It doesn't really play well against modern games. You know, there's very limited development in it, except on one server. You know, there's just not a lot there, so I haven't been playing it. I've been just kind of like cut off cold turkey. But this server launch kind of piqued my interest because the CU was my favorite time in the actual live game. So hey, I figured if I'm going to jump in there, let's take the captain's crew with us, have a stream, see what happens. It could be a lot of fun. And we did that. And if you watched my stream, I'll link it here. We sat around for about 2 hours and we talked. We're in the game for maybe 10 minutes, right? And then it crashed and we joked around and had a good time together on the stream. No one was bashing the player community or the devs in my stream. It was a very mature atmosphere. People were frustrated, certainly. You know, some of the people in the chat couldn't get in and they were upset, and they're allowed to vent like that. I totally accept that. In the end, maybe 100 people total actually got into this game and got to play it a little bit, made a character, you know, on launch night and all that. So not good, because this dev press kit went out. They did podcasts. They did videos. They basically, I don't want to say spammed, but they put this all over all of the other SWG servers to build their audience. And Raf Koster would be proud, because he's always said that to build your audience, you have to steal it. So in a way, they're doing pretty well there. The problem is that the hype bubble that was generated for this was way more than they could possibly handle. Case in point, the server this whole thing was running on about $100 server package. And I don't know if you know anything about like e-commerce or having a website or anything like that, but let me tell you that $100 server package is very, very basic. Just to do my website for 3D printing and stuff like that, I'm looking at a minimum of $50 a month, and that's just for a website. That's not even for a server. I'm talking about like full functionality and all that. So pretty crazy to think that you can pull in those kind of numbers on that kind of machine. But the thing is that's an avoidable thing. How do we know this? Well, one, we know that their Discord channel has 3,900 people. That at least should tell you that there is major interest there, right? Two, they know the number of logins that they get on their service. And once they saw they had over 1,200, not logins, but accounts on the that were made, registrations, that's got to be a red flag that, oh darn, even if a third or a quarter of these show up, we're in trouble. So I mean, all of it was there. They should have known. I understand, but I also want to say that we know that they're not professional developers. Hell, I think the term developer is actually probably misused, because really it's like server admin. All the work for this game was done by SOE. This is essentially the live game code whenever the game sunsetted, very close to that. So yes, absolutely, they built some stuff on top of that, and we'll talk about that later, but that really makes you a modder. It doesn't make you a developer. Developer is a professional career, and I have a lot of respect for that. The thing is that if you advertise this, the community expects a playable experience, and if they have a bad time, they're going to let you know. It's just how it works. I mean, everybody understands that when they sign up for it, right? So after the stream, I went into their Discord and checked it out to see if there were any updates, and saw a message about a streamer that was shitting on the community and being toxic. I was initially a little concerned that someone might have thought that I came across like that and was talking about me, so I dug a little deeper, and then I found this guy. Wow. Okay, a lot to break down here. So streamer name Gospel. Wow. Character name Monarch. Yeah. Well, I mean, let's be honest. That immediately makes me think, what the fuck? That's conceited as hell. But whatever, it takes a certain type of person to be a content creator, and I suffer from the same personality flaws. If you've been around long enough, you know that. I try to judge people based on their actions because of this, because I don't think that I'm a total asshole. I might come across it like that sometimes, but I think I have redeeming features. So I connected to this guy's stream, and he's just unleashing a torrent of bile at the SWG community that wants to play this game, saying asinine things like, "You don't know how hard it is to launch a server. Quit your bitching." All kinds of crazy stuff like that. And I'm sitting there watching this, and I can't believe I'm watching this, right? First, I believe the reasonable people of the SWG community expected bugs. I mean, there's always going to be people you just have to ignore because they're just out there. But everyone expected bugs, probably some crashes, whatever. But as a player base, we didn't expect 100-player server cap when the server was hyped across every single channel that it could possibly have been hyped across. I mean, it's ridiculous, right? There's no doubt that there is a problem there, right? And to be like, oh, it's your fault for being a player and wanting to play here, you entitled, spoiled bastards, what? Are you kidding me? So it's just crazy. And there's no doubt that this was a known issue. Clearly, they knew this was going to work. Okay, so that portion is on the developers 100%. As a comparison to it, we talked about the server cost. SWG Legends is, in my opinion, the gold standard for any Star Wars Galaxy server. And it costs them $1,500 a month, roughly, anywhere from $1,300 to $1,700. They try to be pretty transparent with that. Really important to know that, because that's what it's going to cost if you want to play in that league. And Now bugs, crashes, etc., understandable. We get that. We're expecting that. But not having a plan or the infrastructure to support it's not great. It's a very bad first look. In fact, people were pissed because some people got in, right? Some people got in and got to play for just a little bit, you know, like I did. Some other people did too. But I mean, like maybe 10 minutes, but still, like everyone else was sitting there watching. And so this stream is blowing up because these people can't play and they want to play. And then this guy's telling them to shut up about being frustrated. It was just a very, very toxic thing. So I'm watching this and, you know, basically he's telling us to fuck off, make our own game if we think that we can do better. And this stream is featured by the developers of the server. It was promoted by them. They have been on the server or on the stream giving interviews. So, I mean, like, to me, that looks like he's just being a mouthpiece for the developers to say, screw you, you know, whatever. If you're entitled, you can't play here. It's just a toxic thing. So the most low IQ thing, though, that I heard off this dude's stream was when he said, even AAA games have problems at release. That's completely irrelevant. We're talking about orders of magnitude more difficult. Of course, they're going to have problems at release. Here's the thing. Everybody knows that this is, should know that this is based on the leaked Sony NGE code, right? How to run a launcher, how to run this. Heck, if you know where to go on the internet, you can actually download this right now, set up a VM on your machine and run your own, you know, SWG server, personal, private, whatever, do what you want. It's out there, it exists. I'm just saying, that's all I will say about it, wink, wink. But seriously, so this is not a hard thing. Adding stuff on top of it makes it more complicated if you're going to make changes. But, you know, like they didn't develop Star Wars Galaxies from the ground up. They are using the source code that just probably had at least $30 million of development, you know, over SOE's time, plus, you know, hundreds of employees to create it. So, like, come on. Yeah, and then the other thing that really set me off is he's like, you didn't make your own game. You're trying to here to play this one that they made, so shut up. It's like, holy shit, don't you dare have an opinion on this botched launch unless you're going to make your own game from scratch. Man, this guy is toxic and he doesn't have a grasp on what he's talking about. So he's insulting all of us. And that kind of gets me upset because I've always tried to be somebody that wants to put out content for the community. And I'd like to believe that in some way I represent part of that community because I'm just one of the regular people, right? Now at this point, I was pretty pissed off and I typed up a response that's become sort of a copy pasta, right? From the other little mouth breathers on his stream. I called him a low IQ, which is much less than he deserves, and said this was predictable and avoidable. True, empirically true. Mentioned the email from the server admins that I've shown you. Also true. And the stream that I did went nowhere. Definitely true. Okay. Expressed my disappointment. I said, I'm disappointed in this launch or something like that. It was nothing, you know, like horrible. Absolutely true. And then said I was willing to help fund this, but I need to see proof of concept and proof of competence. I'm not saying that as in like I'm an angel investor coming in to save the day. No, I'm saying that as a regular player, hell, I would be happy to chip them 15 to 20 bucks a month if I had the confidence that this will be around in 30 days. I don't, but we'll get into that because it's not based on launch day specifically. But like I said, we'll get into that. So the dude, he went nuclear, called me a liar, told me I was full of shit. I'm talking lies about the server. Empirically true, everything I've said, right? I think he's pissed that I called him a low IQ, and honestly, the guy is a buffoon. So he tried to be like, oh, I'm sure you're gonna try to fund it yourself. Look at you, big guy, you know, completely taken out of context. Like I said, I'd be more than happy to give them a couple bucks a month because if I play it, I think that's only fair. If you don't financially support the things that you like, they tend to disappear because money is a necessary evil in the world, right? So calling me a liar and acting like a total ass, it just wasn't cool. And I lost my normal chill. You know, if as longtime viewers know, I'm pretty even keel when I stream. I try not to be, you know, try not to be too much of an asshole or anything like that. But having this dude with zero self-awareness, a huge ego, you know, a platform that like he's not showing off the game, the community, anything in a very good light is just really bad. And it made me snap. And I stupidly typed that I'd come out of retirement and compete for viewers with him just to spite him, at which point he banned me. And you know what? That's fine. If it's your stream, you can do whatever the fuck you want. And I could ban people if I wanted to as well. It's just how it works, right? And that should have been the end of it. And it should have stopped right there. But of course it didn't. Because, you know, this is the internet. And from that point on, I've been living in this tool's head rent-free. It's actually kind of funny. So the next day, you know, I go to bed, I wake up, you know, new day. I was able to get into the server with Lieutenant Chronic, and we were checking it out. And I have to say that we were told it was the CU. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not. Okay. It's not even close. It's basically an NGE server with badly implemented skill trees and a lot of important features that simply do not work. They don't. They're missing from the game. I don't know if it's a bug. I don't know if it's intended, but it's not a good experience. So everyone has been so upset and focused on this login issue that's not allowing people to connect that very few people are talking about the bigger issues in the room. One, there's no stats on the items in your inventory. It's likely a bug, but it's a pretty damn big one. You have no idea what damage a weapon does. The mission terminals do not work. The mission terminals not working is such a big deal that like I don't even know if you can play on this server, right? So the only way right now that you can make money that I can think of is actually generate credits from the economy. The legacy quest pays you out as you go, which you need because you're going to buy all your skills because this is, you know, pre-NGE. So you got to pay your 1,000 credits, your 2,000 credits, it gets higher and higher, right? So you need money for like just a burn, right? And then secondly, you can't make any, right? You have the legacy quest, which everyone's doing, which has a finite amount of money. You could maybe like, I guess, AFK, you know, just people and get them for credits, but we're trying to avoid that, right? I mean, that nobody likes that. I don't like that. I'm sure you don't like that. You could do space and sell space junk loot. I can't think of any other way that could generate missions or generate money if you don't have mission terminals. But you know, maybe you know more about the game than I do, so let me know in the comments. But that's pretty damn broken. Now, I don't know if that's coming back. I don't know if the team has the ability to fix that. It wasn't even addressed. There wasn't even like a, hey, you know, we know about the mission terminals and we're working on it. Not a word was said last night. So that's kind of up in the air. But we're playing through it just to see like, hey, are we going to have a good time here? Can we still have fun? Can we salvage something? So all the while that he and I are playing this, every time I go into a guild hall to train or around a populated area, people are emoting and laughing at my character. Some guy spit at me, you know, people are doing all kinds of stuff in the game at me. And I'm like, that's weird. What the fuck? You know, whatever. So I start getting hate troll tells from people. And I'm just like, yeah, okay. So we go out and we start grouping with just randoms to finish, you know, our quest. Cause if you need one mob, it's courtesy to invite the next guy in. That's there as well, so you all get credit. And I bring the guy in, he's like, hey, are you the Tim Katarn that guy keeps raging about in the stream? And I'm like, what? You know, so I go and I pull up his stream, and sure enough, 17 freaking hours later, ladies and gentlemen, this guy is still bitching about me because I had the audacity to call him out. So, yeah. I wish I could say it ended there, but of course it didn't. And I'd like to consider myself a mature person, definitely a little spiteful, you know, if I've been wronged. And I decided to send a private message on Discord to end this. The message was private, respectful, if a little condescending, because honestly, I feel like in a way I've deserved that, you know, with what I've done here and what I've built. So, but let's be honest, it's really hard to be the better man 100% of the time. So that's probably why it was a little more condescending than maybe I initially intended. But I offered to help him gain some of my SWG audience and share my YouTube data, right? Heck, maybe we could even do a collaboration. That might help him. Additionally, I talked about my personal motivation for these videos. It wasn't something that I thought would be shared. You know, it was a nice, like, hey, let's talk, don't be a dick kind of thing, right? And if you've ever tried to do YouTube or anything data driven, you realize that data like this is invaluable, right? You can see what worked, what didn't, how to grow, if maybe you can do something different that I didn't, and make it up there, right? But all this stuff I had to figure out on my own. Nobody helped me with it. People that are serious about streaming with YouTube and whatnot, they pay a lot of money to go to conferences to find out this kind of stuff. And, you know, I used to do that too for a little bit when I thought I would be a full-time streamer, so I can help with that. But I didn't expect it, but this is when the drama just got crazy. And I should have. This tool read my message and put it on this stream and made fun of me. But what else was he going to do? The game was down. It's not like he could actually stream, right? And man, his idiot sidekicks who have no idea, you know, how any of this works are like, oh man, his data can't help you. And then afterwards, after reading all this, he implied that I'm abusive to women. What the fuck? Seriously, man. You know, and after this, they went on for like 10 minutes calling me an idiot and whatnot. I mean, it was absolutely, it's gotten to the point of bullying and harassment. And I have referred the matter to Twitch. Like, just to show you how ridiculous this has gotten. Not only am I getting harassed in the game, I had somebody send me some pictures on Discord that I can't even describe, or YouTube will take down this video. Okay, they're gonna lose their Discord account and their Twitch account too, because I've been able to trace it back to the dude that was on there. So this guy's inciting people to come after me because I called him out for being an idiot. This is the world we live in. And unfortunately for him, Twitch doesn't take that kind of stuff lightly. So sorry, man. It was good knowing you. But to wrap up, as far as SWG Restoration 3 goes, the verdict on this server is a solid, oh my fucking God, avoid it. It's toxic. Any mention of disappointment in the launch will have you attacked by the White Knights in the Discord immediately. Their chosen streamer is an egomaniac that basically gave a big FU to the SWG community and has led a harassment campaign against me. His server is missing vital components for a functioning game. That's assuming that you even managed to get into play. And I think it likely can't exist like this long term. I don't see this surviving more than a couple of weeks. I mean, maybe with a skeleton crew, but who the hell is going to want to play it once they find out everything's not there? If you're into SWG, I seriously still recommend Legends. It's fantastic. It's a solid experience with people that actually know how to develop new content. And it's never been anything but welcoming to me and the captain's crew whenever we stream there. Those people are great. Never had a problem. So that's it. Thanks for watching. And dude, if you're watching this, please get help. You need it. It's just a game. Katarn out.